Hello, everyone. I am in Cyber Patriots, and I would like to inform people about how fun it is. And also, if you're already in Cyber Patriots, give some nice tutorials to start you off. Because I know getting 100 points always seems like a huge flex, and really in competitions, you're just trying to do your best to, get that 10th spot in nationals or something. So, I'm making tutorials. So, what is Cyber Patriots? It's essentially cybersecurity for kids. You have to protect a computer and ensure its safety by hmm, ensure it's safe by running updates, making sure everything looks good, and just like deleting unused apps that you don't need and running commands just in case. What is cybersecurity? You just protect computers. That's pretty much it. You just ensure that they're safe and secure, and yeah, it's just cyber security. Welcome to this new channel. Hello, I started my career in Cyber Patriots. In Cyber Patriots, year 17. My number was 171775, I believe. And this is just tutorials. Yep, all that stuff. Anyways, let's go. Alright, so forensic questions and readmes. These are really important, especially the readme. I'll get to those later. The forensic questions, however, they're text-based files that you could have anywhere from 1 to 6 of them on a computer, and they all give you a ton of points for finishing them. There could be examples from it's your computers are mainly work system computers, so you're always gonna want to do things for work instead of for personal use. And some of that stuff could be a company, like a computer from the company's computers servers or server, is leaking information about your company policies and code and all that stuff, and they were able to trace it down to a file location. But there's a message inside of the file. What does it say? For example, it'll give you examples. It says, "I like pizza." And then it asks you for your answer here. You should delete those brackets when you do type it in. But the answer could be something like, "I think this is good enough." That is actually a pretty good answer. I'm pretty sure that was the answer that I had during the competition today, because I did actually have a competition, and it was really fun. We got about second state and something like ninth in nationals or something. Anyways, yeah, pretty cool. So forensic questions can be a lot of things. To name a few, it could be file analysis, network and log analysis, and all the other things on the screen. File analysis, for example, is identifying hidden files or data. What is the name of the hidden file in the documents folder? Find out the file metadata, which could be author, creation date, modification time, and etc. By the way, author is probably not going to be, it's probably not going to say author. It's most likely going to be like owner or permissions or something. An example could be, when was the file report.docs last modified? So you extract strings or clues from suspicious files. And another example could be, what string is hidden in the binary file secret.bmp. Network and log analysis. Inspect log files, for example, could be all of those things like Windows events logs, or Apache or something like that for unauthorized activities. So an example could be, what IP address attempts to log in 10 times unsuccessfully. That could potentially mean that you have somebody trying to log into computers that you don't want them to be logging into. So you could figure out and capture the network traffic and trace that back to the computer, and then you can figure out who maybe would have done that. Another example is, what website did the user visit based on the captured packet trace? This means that you could have information about something in a little packet, and it could be a website that you don't know about, but you know a user, and you know who that user is. You know that a user looked on a website and you need to figure out which one it was. Steganography. Not sure how to say that word, but it's about discovering data hidden inside images, audio, or text. So, what message is hidden in the image? Photo.png. Going back to the beginning for the example, it's common to have those in forensic questions. Email and document forensics. So, this is where you inspect suspicious emails and figure out if it's a phishing scam or what the heck is going on with the email or document, and you kind of put an end to it, or you just tell it this is something that's kind of been suspicious going on, and you just get points for it. Password and encryption challenges. This one is pretty difficult, and of course you're not going to know encryption off the top of your head. So I do have a website right here. It's base64encoded.org/enc/practice. And this website is especially good for not just base64 encrypting, but a lot of other things, which you can always use during a competition if you need to. So yeah. The system configuration event logs checked for unauthorized accounts or software. So an example is what new user accounts was created on the system. You could find out what certain commands were executed, or you could find out any new users that have been created, and you can figure out what permissions they were given, so administrator or just normal user. And if the computer doesn't want it on there, afterwards you could delete it and maybe get some points out of it. But of course you'd have to check the README for that, which we'll get to in a minute. Image or disk level forensics. So this could be you inspect disk images for deleted files or evidence, which might be some sort of user doing something suspicious on a computer, and you have to try and, get that back, recover it, and then maybe do something about it depending on what the forensic says or what the README says or anything like that. The README, this is super important. This tells you if it's a work computer, all the information you need, accounts and user stuff, what to do and not to do. It is your best friend during a competition. It's practically a checklist that gives you basics on how to get 100 points. For example, if it says, do not upgrade your system, whatever you do, this is mainly targeted toward Ubuntu stuff. It says, do not upgrade your system, whatever you do, and you upgrade your system, you're going to lose a lot of points and maybe not be able to get them back. But if you follow the README, and by the way, you read this first, then you might be able to get more points than instead of just not reading the README and following a checklist that you already had. Yeah, so this is the ending. It's pretty small proportion of what actually happens during competitions. I mean, forensic questions can maybe give you 20 points at top. And that's speaking if you have, all 6 forensic questions on your computer and you get the max points that you can get for them. Some forensic questions, like the ones that I had today for Ubuntu, each forensic question gave me 10 points. And we had finished both of them, so we had 20 points from that. We ended with about 50 points, which was, definitely not the best, but it was one of the highest in my school. The other team was just, they had 65 points, but they were using AIs and stuff like that, which it's not against the rules, but you can do whatever you want, of course. I just personally feel like you should be going off of your own knowledge. Yeah, this is mainly targeting all of the systems though. Of course, there's Windows Server 2019, Server 2022, there's Mint 21 and Ubuntu. There's plenty of systems out there that all are different in their own ways. And however, it can get really complicated once you learn the basics for every single one of them, and then you read the README, you can kind of figure your way out. Um, so yeah, of course, this is just the first video. If you have like anything else that you want to ask me for, like a tutorial about, I don't know, Ubuntu PAM files, let's say, then just, you know, email me, Discord if I ever make one, you know, comment it. Just like, I don't care if you like and subscribe or just anything like that. Just, if you want to, you can watch, because I'm gonna have like, full experiences of what actually goes on during competitions and all that cool stuff. So, yeah, hopefully I see you in the next video. Goodbye.